tough road wins, one at Grand Rapids. That was a 4-point ball game, and then you came back and played at Lake Michigan on Saturday and came out with a win there too. So you had a good week last week.
We did have a good week, and I felt, Dave, our defense down at Lake Michigan was a lot better than it was at Grand Rapids. I thought we were real soft defensively up there, and so I was pleased with the way they came back and went down to Lake Michigan and played very well.
Now tonight you're playing Muskegon, who's on the other end of the conference this year as far as wins and losses, but they present a problem because you're missing some key players.
Yes, we're not sure of the status of Shawn Kneeland. For sure will not be here tonight. Shawn's in Grand Rapids. He was checked into the hospital on Sunday and he has pneumonia. We're hoping that he's gonna, he was checked in, didn't stay, but he's back at his home now. So he is definitely out for tonight and maybe for Friday night. Mike McKinley has a very tender Achilles, so we're very reluctant to take any chances with that. He says it's okay, but that's going to be a tough call. I'm not going to start him, and I'm going to wait and see whether we play him or not. Janocus Sanders has a flu bug. Jeff Barzak missed practice yesterday also with the flu bug, and it's going through the coaching staff, the office, and everything. So I'm hoping that we'll have enough energy with the guys that have been on the bench there some, and they'll be able to come in and pick it up and take advantage of this chance to play.
Now the regular season is winding down, and you've got 2 home games this week, and then a road game, and then you finish up next Friday night.
Right, 2 more weeks the season, then a week of state tournament, a week of regional. And this team tonight, Dave, scored 115 points Saturday on Glen Oaks. They lost in overtime, 119-115. Ed Canning is a key player to watch. Janocus Sanders guarded him up there and contained him pretty well. He had 36 last Saturday against Glen Oaks, so he will be one of the key matchups. The other will be Phil Hooker in the middle.
If I remember correctly, Muskegon came in here and did a number on us last year that really hurt us.
They knocked us out of the state tournament and a chance to get to the Final Four again.
So it could be a great ball game tonight, Coach, and good luck.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, we went directly into our national anthem tonight, and now we'll go directly into our introduction of our starting lineups. Number 5 is Keith Guy. Number 12, Jeff Duval at 4.4 points per game, 3.4 assists per game. Number 11 is Ed Canning for Muskegon. At the other guard position from Gull Lake, number 20, Jason Korstands at 4.9 points per game and 4.6 assists per game. Number 31 is Jeremy Gorman. Number 44 from Matawan, Chris Higgins at 10.3 points per game and 4.8 rebounds per game. Number 43, Phil Bowen. Number 51 is Randy Prince at 17.2 points per game and 9.2 rebounds per game. Number 54 is Phil Hooker for the Jayhawks. And at center for the Cougars, number 54, Leroy King at 14.9 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game. The Cougars are coached by Dick Schultz and Kevin Skaggs. The Jayhawks by Gene Gifford and Glenn Metcalf. Our referees tonight are Rich Ames, Denny Oberlin, Mike Vandervelde. And Gordon, you've talked with Coach Gifford over the years, and I'm sure you probably talked to him tonight.
Yeah, that's right. He's always friendly to talk to. Enjoy talking to him. Kalamazoo Valley has some illness problems tonight, but you would trade places with Muskegon for anything today. They, in the pre-conference, they were 8-4, and in the conference, they've only won one game, and that all comes down to one player. The difference, that's Eddie Purnell. He was their top scorer and really the heart and soul of the team, and he went down early in January with an ACL, a knee injury, anterior cruciate ligament, I believe it is, and so he has surgery scheduled February 23, and he'll have 6 months of rehabilitation and so on after that.
I see Phil Hooker is the second leading rebounder in the league.
Yeah, there's still some people that are going to be dangerous here, Dave. No doubt about it.
Tip controlled by Randy Prince, and Leroy King finds an avenue to the basket, and he puts 2 quick points onto the board for the Cougars. Canning on the drive. He pops from 15. He's got it. Ed Canning with the basket. Ties the game at 2. We have a different alignment tonight. Both Jason Korstange and Jeff Duval in the starting lineup due to illness of Janocus Sanders. And Mike McKinley under the another 2 points by Leroy King. Mike McKinley suffering from a strained Achilles tendon.
Yeah, and those Achilles turn out to be a chronic problem quite often, Dave. Usually they're a nagging injury as opposed to something that is going to snap and cause a problem, but you have to be careful.
One of the reasons why I mentioned the other day about how difficult it is to go through a season undefeated when you have to play under circumstances like missing 3 primary players.
Yeah.
Cougars have enough depth, though, that they can still put a pretty formidable lineup in there. Chris Higgins looks at a 3, and now to Randy Prince. Jeff Duval to Chris Higgins from the baseline corner, and it's a little strong. Phil Hooker
that was a good setup on the shot, though. The passing was nice on the outside. And
Gorman out to Guy, and he looks at that man-to-man defense of the Cougars, and a little inside work by Canning. Good help from the backside by Leroy King. Hooker with the shot. And a loose ball is picked up by Muskegon and a tip by number 43, and that's Phil Bowen. Last year, if you remember correctly, the Muskegon Jayhawks stunned the Cougars here at Cougar Arena in the state tournament to knock them out. And this is a dangerous team.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Good lob into Randy Prince. He goes up strong to the basket and gets the 2 points. Randy Prince with his first basket, an assist to Leroy King.
They got 3 guys in double figures here, Dave. Canning leads the way at 20. Hooker has 17, and House has 11. So
good defense by Duval, and it forced the pass to Bowen, but Bowen found the mark from 15 feet to tie the game at 6. So both teams scoring well here in the early going. We've got 17:20 on the clock. Good feed back to Jason Korstange, who gets the layup. Good give and go.
One of the things that's bad about Purnell's injury, Dave, is that he had a good chance to play at a 4-year school.
Hooker with the slam.
Purnell had a good chance to play at a 4-year school. Of course, when you suffer a knee injury like that, you're not going to hear from anybody till your knee's well.
Yeah. And that pass did not get handled. If you remember, we had the services of Scott Hunter here for 2 years, and what an outstanding player he was. He broke his wrist the last year in high school, and I think that really hurt his chances for a 4-year program from the beginning. And of course, he earned that, and now is playing at Grand Valley State.
And doing well.
Yes. Hooker with the shot, and he's fouled by King. And if I remember correctly, Hooker was one of the primary reasons that we had difficulty last year, because he had an outstanding game against us. Matter of fact, I think he was the one that put in the winning basket with about 8 seconds left.
And I couldn't tell you. I washed those things out of my mind there. The details of losses get real sketchy after a few hours for me.
Well, that was a rather stunning upset because Muskegon was kind of in the middle of the pack, and of course the Cougars had an outstanding record last year.
You know, they have, Muskegon has done that over the years, Dave. A few years ago, probably I'm going to say about 4, they finished 4th in the league and then won the regional tournament and got to the finals of the national tournament. And so,
well, they've got a 1-point advantage here. Jason Korstans to Jeff Duval underneath. He gets the basket. Jeff Duval with some good fakes and a nice pass from Korstans. Cougars back in the lead 10-9. I think you'll notice our defense may be a little suspect tonight without Janocus and Shawn Kneeland and Mike McKinley in there battling, but it looks like we're hustling. Keith Guy with the ball. Long 3-point attempt is dead center by Gorman. 12-10, Muskegon on top. King to the basket. He's a little short. Hooker with a rebound.
Of course, Janocus Sanders, Leroy King, and Eddie Purnell played together at Muskegon Heights 2 years ago.
Canning with the lane to the basket, doesn't get it. Randy Prince with a rebound, and out to Korstans. Jason in a hurry to Higgins. Drives, shoots, and a little short. Chris with a rebound and under pressure. And now Leroy King picks up the loose ball and puts it in for the basket. That ties the score 12 apiece. Leroy King was half of those points. Guy again to Gorman. He may have traveled, but Chris Higgins with the hustling rebound.
Well, Dave, they're calling it loose right now tonight, I think. I think there's been some bumps both ways that they let go, and they've been giving them an extra half a step with the travel, too, both teams.
And John Couture checks into the game for Jeff Duval. .45 on the clock, and we've only had one foul, so there hasn't been many interruptions in play. Guy with a long one. Hooker has the rebound stripped by Chris Higgins. Good pass inside to King, and he goes up under pressure and scores. Leroy King has 8 points, and he earned that one. Puts the Cougars up by 2, 14-12. Canning, and it's a 2-point shot.
Good shot
right off the dribble.
Yeah, he's the one, like I say, he's averaging over 20 a game, so he's dangerous.
Chris Higgins looks inside and puts it off to King, and now Leroy lobs it to Randy Prince, and we've got a hold on number 43, Phil Bowen. That's the first team foul on Muskegon. Both teams with one foul. 13:51 on the clock. Long pass out to Korstans. Chris Higgins looks at 3. He's set. He fires, and a little short. Gorman with a rebound. Canning from downtown, and goes off to the left, and Randy Prince picks up the loose ball. Higgins throws the pass to King. It's knocked out of bounds by Hooker. 13:21 on the clock. And we've got a foul on Canning. And Jeff Duval checks back into the game, this time for Jason Korstange. Tom Trush into the game for Leroy King. We have 14 points on both team's ledger right now as Muskegon sets up in a 2-3 zone. Cross court to Higgins, 3-point range, off the back of the rim, and Canning with a rebound. Guy on the drive, short with the shot. Canning picks up the loose ball and scores it to put Muskegon up by 2. 16-14, 12:54 on the clock. In the Trush, heavy traffic, and he's fouled underneath.
Now he did something there that you hear Coach Schultz talk about occasionally in the huddle, Dave, and that is that he gave a head fake. He gave a pump or two, and he didn't just go straight up with it as soon as he got the ball. So the result is that you do draw more fouls when you do that.
Tom Trush at the line, and I didn't want to jinx him. He's 10 for 10 from the free throw line, Gordon. Can't do much better than that.
No. Well, he just did, Dave. 11 for 11.
And he sinks that like he's real confident at the line. A nice stroke there by Tom Trush. And that ties the game at 16 apiece. Hooker. Good help by Trush. Canning with the rebound. Muskegon up by 2, 18-16, 12:25 on the clock. Randy Prince looks at 3 and then drives. Scores. Randy Prince with a good drive. Ties it at 18 with 12:12 remaining. Gorman, number 15 into the game for Muskegon, is Aaron Howes. And he is short with a shot, and loose ball is picked up by Randy Prince. Knocked away, and maybe a held ball. No, Randy Prince has it. Chris Higgins to Duval. Oh, Jeff Duval with some good ball handling. Scores a basket.
He showed that ball and looked like he was going to pass to Trush, but he pulled it out and went in.
Pretty clever move there by Jeff Duval. Canning off a pick. Now Guy goes off the side. Howes with the rebound. Gorman, long range. He's got it. Another 3 by Gorman. And we've got timeout with 11:25 on the clock. Muskegon up by 1, 21-20.
We want a nip and tuck game down to the wire. Want a one-point game out of it. We got to pick it up down here. We're letting them have too many second shots now. That's because we're watching the ball when it's shot. And the ball's bouncing back, and we're not getting after the shot because we're not getting a good box out. Keep good position defensively, challenge a shot, and get a block out everywhere. Get your man on your back and get the rebound and kick it out. Let's go with it. We're doing all right on offense. We just aren't guarding them. We aren't stopping them. 11-25, they scored 21 points already. That's 100-some a game. That's why we got to tighten up defensively now. It doesn't mean gamble. It just means play smart, keep pressure on the ball, and get help everywhere else. Don't let them have what they want. This team scored a lot of points this year. So we got to play good defense against them. There's no secrets to it. Let's go now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Dave, I was a little surprised to see that Muskegon called the timeout. I thought things were going fine for them. Now they're a little short on players. They got 10 people dressed, and Kalamazoo's got a few more than that. But maybe he saw something he didn't like, wanted to switch the defense up. Looks like they're going to a man, and they've played some more. They played mostly zone in the first part of the game.
Number 21, Brian Hansen, in now for Muskegon. Leroy King, long three-pointer is dead center. Leroy King showing some outstanding range there. Ball just died in the net. 23-21, Cougars up by 2. Gorman with the ball. Knocked away by King, still knocked away by King. He picks it up and he's fouled as he goes to the basket by Hansen. Great hustle there by the big guy.
As the coach said in the huddle, that Muskegon scoring quite a few points. They get about 90 a game.
Well, they're on a pretty good pace for that right now. Leroy shoots about 68.3% from the line. And after 10 games, we're using the league stats pretty exclusively tonight. Well, Leroy's pretty consistent at the line. He's 68% in the league and 64.6% overall. So,
yeah.
And he just added one more. Make that 2. And now the Cougars are up by 4, 25-21 with 10:52 on the clock. Janocus Sanders into the game for his first action. Canning. Oh my, he's got some range. 25-24. Cougars up by 1. Chris Higgins looks at a 3. In and out. Rebound picked up by King. Gives a good pass to Duval, and Jeff has it go in and out. So Cougars not shooting that well from three-point range. Jeff Duval with a near steal. Knocked away by King. 41 for Muskegon is Tyrone Marshall.
Chris Higgins has missed some threes tonight. He's setting up well, and it's a shot we want. It's a good shot for us, but just not going in so far.
Canning loose, now under pressure. Checked there by Sanders, and Hansen with the shot. Hooker off balance, has an air ball, but it just so happened that Muskegon had a player right in the
Dave, I think
best spot.
I think if you ran that back, you would see that House put a good elbow on Sanders and sent him on his way.
Okay.
And that position was no accident.
Well, sometimes even with 3 referees, people get away with some things.
Yeah, there.
Good recovery by Jeff Duval, and over to Randy Prince, who's fouled as he goes up for the shot. Randy will go to the line. Randy shoots 75.7% in the league from the free throw line.
Yeah,
and 77%. So really after about 10 league games, their season and league stats are really pretty close.
Yeah.
Randy sinks that first one. He's got 5 points on the night. Leroy King with 13 points here in the first half. And Randy gets them both. 9:34 on the clock, and the Cougars up by 1, 27-26. And knocked away by Sanders. Well, you know, I think that was over and back because he touched it in the court and took it over the free throw line. Had he not touched that ball at that point, and coach can watch that on the replay because that's kind of an interesting call on a loose ball. Higgins with a lane to the basket. Chris scores his first basket to put the Cougars up by 3, 29-26. Hooker from long range off the back of the rim. King with a rebound. How he got that ball out for that outlet pass is beyond me, but Randy Prince gathered it in, got the basket, and the foul. Leroy King showing his strength with a couple guys hanging on him, and he just ripped the bullet out of there.
Coach Gifford he wants to travel on that one, but he's being ignored here right now.
Randy goes to the line for one more. Randy with 6 points already. 8:53 on the clock. The Cougars have increased their lead to 5, 31-26. Make that 6, 32-26. Now our defense has definitely gotten more aggressive with Janocus into the game.
Yeah.
That's only the third team foul on the Cougars. There are 6 team fouls on Muskegon. So the next Muskegon foul will send the Cougars at the line for 1-on-1. Loose ball, and Sanders is on it like a cat. To King, bang, Leroy sends it home. And Muskegon wants timeout. The Cougars threatening to blow this game out now, 34-26 with this last surge with 8:19 remaining in the first half.
Some kind of zone now. Let's just thread that zone. Let's beat it down to 4. And then if we don't beat it down to 4, be a little patient against it and just snap your passes. Look away passes. If it's a 2-3 zone, Leroy, let's get that snap on the swing, catch it, look away, kick it underneath, be ready for it, Randy, catch it. You all right? Okay, this timeout was good for us. Take a breath again. Good job. We play good defense. We come out of there running with it. That's when we're really a tough team. Okay, but if they make us play half court now, let's do it. We're better half court now than we used to be. So let's just work it and get a good shot. Set your feet and drill it. All right? Defensively, keep working on Canny. We'll let him have time to shoot a 3. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I had to laugh to myself, Gordon. He was mentioning to Leroy to get the snap on the swing. That's what I tell my little leaguers when they get the snap that bat on the swing.
Yeah.
But Cougars looking good here in the last few minutes. Increased their lead to 8 points, 34-26. We're approaching the 8-minute mark in the first half, and there's a loose ball, and well, Randy Prince tapped it away a little bit too far. Cougars have picked up their defense, and Chris Higgins comes up with the loose ball on the steal. Stops from 16 and off the back of the rim. Ball knocked away by number 41 is Marshall, and now Canning looks at a 3, shoots and scores. Canning with the basket. And a 3-point shot. 34-29 cuts the lead to 5. 7:28 remaining. King has it knocked out of bounds.
Off his knee.
Off of his knee. Good hands by Muskegon. $7:20 now on the clock. Loose ball picked up by King. We got a 3-on-1 break, and we don't handle it. So Cougars miss on a couple opportunities here in the last couple times down. Hansen checked by Korstange. Cougars in the man-to-man. Hansen to Howes, and he shoots from 15. He scores it. Cougars up quickly. Randy Prince tries to push it inside, but it's knocked out of bounds by Gorman. 6:38 remaining in the first half. Cougars up by 3, 34-31. That was an effective timeout by Coach Gifford as Randy Prince hits a 3 from the dead corner. Or I should say deep corner, not dead corner. And I think he called that the wrong way because Sanders had position on that steal, and Gorman just sort of pushed over to get in the way. 37-31, Cougars up by 6. Good help by King, but Gorman scores anyway. 37-33, Cougars up by 4. Muskegon in a 2-3 zone. Randy Prince open. Sets from three-point range. He's got 3 more. Randy Prince, 2 in a row. 40-33, Cougars up by 7. Janocus Sanders with the steal and the break. To Korstand, sets from three-point range, and King with the rebound, and he's fouled. Leroy with the shot. He'll get 2 from the line.
Well, Sanders' run there was a thing of beauty there, Dave. He moved that ball nicely down the floor, got it over to Korstand in a good spot.
Very graceful out on the court.
Yep.
5:47 left to go in the first half. Cougars up by 7, 40-33, and Leroy King steps to the line. I tell you, this is a little different. We've got Randy Prince and Leroy King doing a bulk of the scoring here, about 15 apiece. Scoring spread out mainly in the 2 players.
Yep.
But they count whether it's 2 or whether it's 5. And Leroy showing that soft touch from the line. He's got 17 points here in the first half. He's got 17. Randy Prince with 15. Randy Prince picks up the loose ball, and Muskegon was back quickly. Seth Gilmer. King has it knocked away, but there's a foul. Leroy King and Randy Prince with 32 out of the 42 Cougar points. Nice crowd here on a Wednesday night following the number 3 rated Division II community college in the country.
We haven't had good weather really we had some awful cold weather, and it's cold again tonight.
Well, some Cougars not the only ones suffering from some cold and flu symptoms. I think our technical wizard over here is hacking a little bit. Tom's working under duress tonight. Good play by Jason Korstand as he positioned himself to keep the Muskegon player away from the ball. Good feed from Randy Prince to Chris Higgins, goes in and out, and Leroy King is right there to take over. 44-33, Cougars have opened up an 11-point advantage right now with 4:49 left to go in the first half. Knocked away by King. Chris Higgins picks it up, and that was kind of a risky pass there by Chris Higgins. I think he...
No look behind the pass.
Yeah.
Behind
It
the back.
worked out all right. And Jason Korstand goes to the line for 1-on-1. Jason at about 73.7% from the free throw line.
Well, we're taking a while to get something straightened out over on the bench. Looks like it's all right. I think they were just checking to see who the foul was on.
Okay, that's the 9th team foul by Muskegon, so the next foul that they commit, why Cougars will be shooting 2 automatically. Jason Korstand with 4 points, puts the Cougars up by 13 now, 46-33. Gorman in the hooker. Over King, doesn't get it, but Gorman with a nifty tip. It's got some contact too. It could have been a 3-point play, but contact was overlooked. Cougars moving the ball quickly against that zone. Higgins thought a couple times about it. Need to spread it just a little bit more there. Well, again, Chris a little off with the shot, but Leroy King working hard underneath, and he pushes it through.
He was in a crowd there. We really didn't have very good position, but everything worked out fine.
Guy from 18 off the rim, and Leroy King gathers it in with those big hands. Seth Gilmer tries for three, and he scores. Seth Gilmer with three. Kind of our designated shooter from the second team. Canning may have been pushed a little bit. Leroy King with another board. Cougars on the attack. 3:04 left to go in the first half. Randy Prince to Jason Korstange, who almost fired. 51-35. Cougars up by 16. King drives to the basket, flips it out to Chris Higgins. This time he's dead center. That's more like Chris's regular shot. Put a little more arc on it that time. And that puts the Cougars up by 19, 54-35, and Guy with the shot. 54-37 with 2:23 left to go. Seth Gilmer open again from three-point range. King has it blocked by Hooker. Hooker goes to the basket and doesn't get it. Leroy King must have a dozen rebounds here in the first half. Higgins off the back of the rim, and Gorman to Canning now. 1:50 remaining in the first half. Gorman long range, short, and Higgins, and we're going up and down the floor pretty fast right now. Seth Gilmer to Higgins, drives, and scored. No. Well, let's see if they award him the basket. No basket, no basket. Dan Kurzman checks into the game with 1:38 remaining in the first half. Again, Mike McKinley suffering from some Achilles tendon problems. Is not playing tonight, at least has not played yet. 45 into the game for Muskegon is Tim Mallison. Guy with the shot, Korstange with the rebound. Chris Higgins doesn't get it. Chris a little bit discouraged.
Yeah.
Guy from 15 out to Madison. Seth Gilmer with the rebound.
Well, Chris will get that stroke back. One thing is, if you start, if you miss a few, you start thinking about the mechanics of it, and you can really get yourself in a slump, and he'll pull out of it.
Good pass into Randy Prince. Handle that tough pass. Scores a rebound, or scores off the rebound, and he gets fouled. So Randy gets two more and goes to the line for another chance at a point.
Well, Muskegon was up 21-20, Dave, and then it got to be about, it was maybe 36-32, and Valley has gone on about a 20-5 run here. It's 56-37.
If I looked at any one key, when Janocus Sanders came in, he really started the defense to doing their work, and I think that was a real key to ignite the Cougars here in the first half. Oh, what a shot by Keith Guy.
Yeah, Dave, there's a lot of proof around to this, but he's a guy that proves that you don't have to score a lot of points.
Well, he didn't score any, but he turned the game around with his defense and good passing. Kurzman looks at three. Off the rim, gathered in by Prince, and Randy was fouled on that play, and he's looking at the ref as if didn't understand what was going on. Gilmer with the rebound. We've got about 10 seconds remaining. And Jason got a little wild with that pass. That goes over to Muskegon with 5.4 seconds left. Keith Guy will attempt the shot on the run. No. Gilmer with a rebound, and that's where our first half ends, with the Cougars up by 18 points, 57-39. Any comments, Gordon?
Well, Dave, a good first half for Kalamazoo Valley. We started off a little slow, but having the people sick and so on, and all in all, it was a good first half.
Okay. And we'll be back with the second half before you know it. Well, we have some halftime statistics for Muskegon and Kalamazoo Valley. For the Jayhawks, we have Canning leading the way with 14 and Gorman with 8. For the Cougars, it's Randy Prince with 18 and Leroy King with 21. Shooting percentages are 50-42 in favor of Kalamazoo Valley, and rebounding is by 27-19 in favor of Kalamazoo Valley. Leroy King with 10 boards and Randy Prince with 7. So it's been a Randy and Leroy show statistically, Gordon.
Yeah, well, they're from Muskegon and they want to have a big game tonight.
Yeah.
I always like to show off in front of the home folks.
Well, we're just about ready to go here in the second half. The Cougars have an 18-point advantage, which is fairly comfortable for this point of the game, but certainly not a sure thing. We saw Muskegon put a lot of points on the board in a hurry there, so this team is capable of coming back, and we'll see how the Cougars are approaching this second half, as Muskegon will own first possession. We have Jason Korstange, Leroy King, Randy Prince, Seth Gilmer, and Chris Higgins. And Chris comes up with a loose ball. And now the Cougars are on the attack. Passes off the leg of Leroy King, and then it goes out of bounds off Muskegon. So some ball handling problems early on here in the second half. Chris Higgins across the middle. King looks inside and now passes it into Randy Prince. It's knocked away by Bowen.
Turnovers here.
Yeah. Bowen with the long one off the back of the rim and just fit in there as it bounced straight up. Got what is called a shooter's roll and fell into the basket to cut that lead to 16 in favor of Kalamazoo Valley, 57-41. Randy Prince looks at three. Now over to Jason Korstange, who finds Chris Higgins at the top. Seth Gilmer. Chris Higgins with the screen, and now into King, who shoots from 15 in front of the rim. Loose ball is picked up by Prince and is stripped by Guy, and Guy is charged with a foul.
Guy's a long ways away, Dave, but I know he's thinking that was all ball.
Yep. Well, we didn't hear any skin up here in Guy's defense, but you got a lot of youngsters here tonight.
Yep.
Don't know if that's a Cub Scout troop or a basketball group, but always welcome at Kalamazoo Valley. Next Friday night, when the Cougars have their last home game, the Cougar Cagers will be entertaining their season finale. Korstange on the drive, a lot of contact, and Jason a little shaky getting up there, but now seems to be all right. And looks over at the referee and says, holy cow, they can't do that.
Yeah. Called something.
Guy with the shot, Prince with the rebound. Cougars up by 17, and both teams shooting a little coldly here to start the second half. And passing a little coldly too, as
start off with 4 or 5 turnovers here.
Yeah. $18 minutes left to go in the game. Canning on the drive. Gilmer with the rebound, up quickly to Korstange. And Jason thought about lobbing it to Leroy, and Leroy goes to the basket off the pass from Korstange, and he's fouled on the shot.
Well, Leroy ran a nice pattern there, Dave. Like you say, he had a possibility of a backside lob, and it wasn't there, and just circled the basket.
Oh, well, you being a stalwart Michigan fan, I'm sure you were pleased with the result last night, Gordon.
Right, and looking ahead, Dave, at our alma mater's clash on Monday. You're from Ohio State.
Oh my, that's not much of a clash this year.
Well, the Michigan, they went to overtime when they were in Ann Arbor, so the potential's always there.
Oh, a nice read by Chris Higgins, and then Muskegon knocked it away again, and Leroy could not save it out of bounds, but good defensive teamwork there by Chris and Leroy.
But yeah, that Michigan game, their victories against Indiana are few and far between these days.
Yeah. Bowen with a rebound, he gets it. 59-43, Cougars up by 16 points. 17:30 left to go in the second half. Ball knocked away. Chris Higgins picks it up and puts it off the glass to score his 7th point.
Jason Korstange sticks a hand in there and gets it on the ball, but goes back to Muskegon.
Well, if there'd be an all-Madden team in basketball, I think Jason Korstange would be on that. He's that kind of player that gives every bit of himself when he's out there. If you saw your camera jump,
It sounded like a horse whinnying.
That's our technical wizard battling a cold.
Poor cameraman.
Bowen, long range, he's got it for a 3-point conversion. 61-46, Cougars up by 15 with 16:40 left to go. .20 seconds left on the shot clock. Inside, knocked away. Chris Higgins picks it up and shovels it into King. Leroy King has it tipped away. Jason Korstange again with a kind of a John Madden play underneath, and Leroy King eases it into the basket to.
That was another good play by Leroy, where he didn't just go straight to the basket. He gave a good head fake.
On that rebound too, that was an interesting play, because Leroy saw he couldn't catch the ball, but he tipped it where nobody else could get it except Leroy. That's a Dennis Rodman type rebound where you really use your head and make a heads up play where you tip it away so you're the only one, or tip it to a team member so they can get the rebound. And double team nearly worked, but foul is called on Guy. 15:50 on the game clock. And the Cougars up by 17, 63-46. The lob is knocked away. Seth Gilmer picks up the loose ball. Randy Prince from the baseline, and he scores. 22 points for Randy Prince. And that puts the Cougars up by 20.
We're off to a slow start scoring-wise in the second half. But that three will get us going.
Yep. .31 left to go in the ball game. Cougars up by 20 right now. Oh, nice pass by Gorman, the hooker, and the hooker slams it home. John Couture with the ball. Pass in the Prince. And it's stripped away. It goes off the hands of Bowen.
Dave, you don't always think of the big guys as having a good shooting touch, but number 54 there, Hooker, is second in the league in shooting in free throws.
Well, that big guy in the corner can shoot it, but he didn't get that one. Chris Higgins with the follow, and now Hooker with a rebound.
The leading free throw shooter is Huffman, the 7-footer, Lansing. So 2 big guys leading the way.
Just out of curiosity, how many attempts does Huffman have from the line?
29. He's 26 for 29.
Okay.
So shooting about 90%. He's also the leading rebounder in the league.
Well, Leroy didn't get cheated on that foul.
No, not very subtle.
66-48, and Gorman goes to the line. Janocus Sanders into the game for Leroy King, and Jeff Duval also checking in. $66-49.
Gorman's a 73% shooter, gets them both.
Yep, 66-50. Cougars up by 16. 14-40 left to go in this game. Really, I think that was the backboard that blocked that shot, not the defender. Bowen with a nice basket off of the good pass. And that cuts the lead to 14, 66-52. Couture, long range, he's got it, John Couture.
Got a line violation there.
Well, no, a referee violation, I don't know.
Yeah.
69-52, Cougars up by 17. 14 minutes remain. Randy Prince with the rebound, outlet to John Couture, 3-on-2. And the pass, a little errant, but Chris Higgins picks it up. Drives to the basket and scores. Chris Higgins with the open lane to the basket. Recognized it and took advantage of it. You know, so many players will see that situation, Gordon, and they'll fire that 15-footer up when they can go into the basket like that.
Yeah.
A good decision by Chris Higgins. $71-52. Cougars up by 19. Guy at the line for 2. Rattles it in. And in and out on that one. Prince with the rebound, up quickly to Higgins. Sets, fires from three-point range. Off the back of the rim, he gets the rebound. Goes up with it, and a third time, doesn't work out. And now he tips it out to John Couture, who puts it into Sanders. Randy Prince. Jeff Duval doesn't get it. Sanders in close, and he's hammered.
Well, he's hit hard on the head, too.
So Cougar is doing the work on the offensive board. Eating a hole in their shooting percentage, but we get 2 shots from the line, and we're up 71-53 with 13:08 remaining.
Good rebound. Keep getting good shots. You can get good shots all over, and hit the boards. That's nice. I mean, it gives you a second, third time. We can't go soft, though, man. We're running back too slow right now. We got to sprint back, not give them a layup. Don't give them anything easy down at that end of the floor. Get back hard and box them out. Doing a good job rebounding. Keep pushing yourself, Randy. Keep pushing yourself to get after every rebound. Set your feet, Chris. I'm going to give you a break in just a minute. You got to play hard for another minute or so. Let's go. They're going to go to some type of pressure now. Mook's running the 3 spot. If they do, and let's burn it if they do. Let's go.
Well, the first 7 minutes we played even here, Dave. We were up 18 at halftime, and we're up 18 now. So we've got not making any progress here. We've got coming up here. We've got Glen Oaks at home on Friday at 7:30, and then we go on the road Wednesday at Southwestern, and we come back and host Kellogg in the final league game at home. So the next 2 Fridays we're home.
Yep.
Then of course we start the state tournament and the regional tournament. The state tournament at the end of the month is going to be here at Kalamazoo Valley.
Well, Glen Oaks on Friday night. Right now they're 4-6 and 1, 2, 3, and are in 6th place in the conference at Southwestern. Southwestern's kind of in the cellar right now. Janocus Sanders with 2 free throws. And then we finish it out next Friday against, who was that?
Kellogg.
Kellogg, and Kellogg is sort of in the middle of the pack at 5-5.
Yeah.
So, and own a victory over Toledo Owens Tech. Dangerous team.
Yeah, now this.
Oh, nice outlet by Janocus, and Prince, Couture, doesn't get it. Howells with the rebound. Cougars up by 20, 73-53. Knocked away by Couture.
We got this game on Friday. One guy you may want to watch in that game is Donnie Hackworth, who is averaging 32 points a game in the league. And
I think he's player of the week last week.
right, and so he's averaging 10 more points than anybody else in the league now.
Couture with rebound and tied up by Canning.
Glen Oaks is a good shooting team. They're leading the league in percentage, free throw percentage, and field goal percentage. They're averaging 99 points a game, so expect to see a lot of offense.
Well, especially if Mike McKinley and Janocus Sanders are still battling injuries, and Shawn Kneeland, of course, right now with pneumonia. We don't look for him on Friday, but
No, he spent a little time in the hospital. And
oh, nice lob to Randy Prince. Randy Prince may have pushed off a little bit on that play. But it's Muskegon ball with the Cougars up by 22, 75-53, and 12 minutes remaining in this game. Nice spin move by Howells underneath. Up quickly to King, and he goes to the basket. Oh, what a nice drive. He doesn't finish it off. And Jeff Duval saves it. Sanders, now Leroy King.
yeah. Finally, we had 3 good shots at it. Finally, it goes.
77-55. Gorman to Guy underneath the hooker. In traffic, blocked by King. That was the kind of shot I think that won that game for him last year. That little jump shot that Hooker just let go.
Yep.
Canning with 3. 77-58 with 11:15 remaining. Cougars up by 19. Jeff Duval in traffic. He nearly gets his own rebound, but Hooker picks it up. And now Muskegon has the ball. Hooker, long range is
he
short.
was under some pressure there. He's a good shooter,
Yep.
but that wasn't a good shot there.
Bowen, Hanson, and Marshall back into the game for Muskegon. We've got Jeff Duval, John Couture, Randy Prince, Janocus Sanders, and Leroy King for the Cougars. Randy Prince was set, and you give him that much time, he is a deadly three-point shooter. 80-58. And the Cougars increase their lead to 22. And a foul on Leroy King. Talking with Coach before the game tonight, and the Cougars host the state tournament this year, and that starts the week of about February 20th. Randy Prince on the drive to Leroy King. He lays it up, gets his own rebound, has it stripped out of bounds. As the Cougars go in the state tournament, so will we go.
Yes,
And we'll be doing all their games because of the convenience of the home court. Jeff Duval with the inbounds pass. And that could be hopefully as many as 3 games for the Cougars. And we've got a kicking violation on Muskegon.
Well, Dave, let's see. The first round would be on the 21st, but
we should
likely to get a bye.
Right,
Things keep
right.
going.
Our first game should be Wednesday the 23rd, I think.
So it'll be Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday if all goes well.
Well, Leroy King lost his balance there and the ball. Canning spins, has it knocked away by Leroy King, and we've got a 3-on-2 break. Nice return pass by Leroy King, and there was nothing Muskegon could do to defend that.
Yeah.
With the big guys showing that they can pass the ball along as well as shoot it and rebound it. Blocked by King.
I don't think House wants any more of that. He sends it back outside.
Canning.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're gonna
I don't know if they counted that or not, because he was kind of fouled before he attempted the shot. We'll see if he goes to the line for 3.
I think they were giving him the continuation, Dave. If it was after the shot, I think they'd only be giving him,
Yeah.
be taking it outside. So.
Yep. In the NBA, you can take a dribble and 3 steps and shoot it, and if it's foul, you get continuation.
Yep.
But
Everything goes.
high
there.
school and college is a little bit stricter with that situation.
Well, we've got the cheerleaders behind the shooter there. I'm going to go through the cheerleaders tonight. I'm not sure. We've got 8 names and 6 people there, and I don't recognize them. So we've got Lisa Ellingson, Leslie Oliphant, Astrid Morgan, Missy Cloney, Nicole Crum, Amy Card, Amy Zach, and Jenny Manakis.
Oh, Janocus Sanders handled the ball the whole time with his left hand and then went up strong to the basket. He can handle the ball. Makes a player just doubly dangerous if he can handle the ball with either hand.
Yeah.
And Janocus Sanders can do that. Completes the 3-point play. He's got 5 on the night. Canning doesn't get it. Higgins with a rebound. To King. To Higgins. Oh, nice lane there to the basket, and Chris gets the ball to fall through. Chris Higgins with the basket. He's got 11 on the night. Right about his average. 87-62 as the Cougars widen the gap a little bit. Leroy King with the steal. And he jams it home. Leroy with the strong move to the hole.
Yeah. Canning wisely got out of the way of that one.
Another block by Leroy King. Well, we do a little bit too much passing there, and then a goofy foul by Muskegon as they just hung on. but what a defensive force Leroy King has been the last few times down the floor.
Yeah.
89-62, and we've got timeout with 7:57 remaining.
Timeout was good for you. I tell you, I know you can sprint down the floor because every time you get the ball, you steal it, you run fast. That was good. Those are good plays all the way. Good defense. Good job, Janocus. Great finish down here on that power move. Just keep our heads in and just play solid. That's all I ask from you. Get a good shot every time. Execute your assignments and play good defense. Doing a good job right now. This has been a real good stretch. We kind of traded buckets with him for a long time. Now this stretch we pulled out a little bit on him. Come on, don't let down. Anything we got to work. You call it out. You call it. Point guard, just call what you want now. If they're at man, you might try K. We haven't run K. Nope. Haven't run weave. Why don't you run weave once or twice? Coach Gifford will like that. He watched that for about 10 years. Run it once or twice. He'll go crazy over there. But let's get a bucket out of it. Handle the ball. Let's go.
Dave, I think Coach Schultz, now he's been a little under the weather too, and wasn't feeling too well yesterday. Had a temperature and stuff, and so this is not a time to overcoach, but I think he might be a little tired tonight.
Well, I can't say that he overcoached in that time.
No.
There for a while, he he seemed out of breath like the players.
Yeah.
5 points for Jason Korstange tonight. Make that 6. 91-62 with 7:55 left to play. Long one by Marshall. Rebounded by Sanders. To Higgins. Well, that was a hard pass to handle. Janocus dug it out. Jeff Duval to King to Korstange. Doesn't get it. Knocked around, and Hansen passes it to Sanders. Sanders says thank you. And Hansen apparently is...
Yeah, we've got an injury time here with Hansen.
Got a sore ankle.
Yeah.
93-62. Hooker doesn't get the shot. A nice fake before the shot. And Leroy King with 2 more. He's got 30 on the night. That may be a career high. I'm not sure. Well, no, I think he had 34 down at Sullivan or something.
Right.
Hooker doesn't get the basket. Jeff Duval gets a rebound in traffic. Now comes flying out. And he's going to be charged with palming the ball.
Not a popular call here.
Marshall with the shot. Rebound King. Here we go. .6:18 left. Bowen scores it. 95-64 with 6 minutes left to go. Well, here comes a weave. Duval pushes it into King. And a traveling violation. And coach didn't like that call. Bowen with the shot. No. Marshall with the tip. 95-66. 5:40 left to play. Long pass to Duval. Higgins to Sanders. And Janocus has it stripped, and Guy comes out with it.
We'll blame that on the root canal, Dave. That doesn't happen very often here.
Back of the rim, and Hooker dunks it home. Saw you talking with Coach Furman. Is he checking out some of the Muskegon players too? Didn't comment on that?
Talked about old City League days and not too much about Muskegon players, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple there that he'd like. But,
Higgins with the shot, and he's fouled on the attempt by Bowen.
you look at a guy, Hooker there is 6'9", and he's a guy that could help a lot of programs. So 6'9", 220, he's a good free throw shooter. And
Canning too is 6'2" guard that shoots very well.
He's Canning's hitting about 40% from 3-point range, and
Dan Kurzman into the game for Sanders.
mentioned to him that we just talked a bit about Muskegon Heights and having 2 years ago having King and Sanders and Guy and Purnell, Guy's number 5 there handling the ball, and saying they must have been a pretty darn good team there at Muskegon Heights.
Yeah, I got to believe they were a factor in the Class B tournament.
Yeah.
One team that appears to be a factor this year in Class C ball is Centerville, who just keeps rolling along.
Yeah.
They have good size for any team, let alone a Class C team, with 6'9", 6'5", and 6'6" across their front line.
Yeah, I don't. Jeff Barzak, of course, played down at Centerville, and his dad coached. I don't think his dad is coaching.
No, he
this
isn't.
year. He's got a brother that's playing still, though.
Guy on the drive, a tough shot. 96-72. Cougars up by 24 with 4 minutes remaining. Tom Trush back into the game. Dan Kurzman. Jeff Duval on the drive. He scores a basket in heavy traffic. Jeff Duval with his 6th point. Jeff Barzak has been suffering from some flu bug this week. I see him getting his shirt off.
Yeah.
He's going to try it. Jeff Duval with the steal, and then has it stripped by Gorman. Oh, of course.
He wonders what he's got to do to get a call. He's just gotten flattened twice.
Good grief.
It feels like railroad tracks right now. The train comes through every 10 minutes.
3:05 remaining. Chris Higgins from 3-point range doesn't get it. And Hooker gets the rebound and a foul.
That'll be 1 and 1.
Jeff Barzak, and now Mark Skinner checks back into the game, or checks into the game for the first time with 3 minutes left to play. Seth Gilmer back into the game for Chris Higgins. Or excuse me, Jason Korstange. 98-74. Cougars on top.
Shooting 85%, Hooker is from the line, so.
Howes checks back into the game for Bowen, and Paul Cederquist checks in for the first time, and I believe he's coming in for Hooker. Trush has it knocked away by Mallison. And now he needs some help. And he just throws it blindly back to Barzak, and then it goes out of bounds off a Muskegon player. You know, it almost, at that position, it'd almost be better to take the 5-second call.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, there's no 5-second call anymore in college. But I guess it'd be a 10-second call, getting the ball across the midline. You don't want to throw it back where you can convert it. We saw what happened here a few minutes ago when a Muskegon player threw it blindly to Janocus Sanders, who was point blank range for a layup.
Yep.
Madison needs some help. Now Marshall. Skinner with a rebound. Jeff Barzak in a hurry to Kurzman. Reverse. And it didn't go. And we've got a foul on Barzak. 2:17 left to play. Cougars have this one tucked away at this point. They'll go 10-1 in the conference and 22-1 on the season.
Well, Dave, bears repeating again. I think my recollection is Mark Skinner had a 4-point at the semester, and Barzak had a 3.8, didn't he, or something? And
I remember Mark Skinner with the 4.0, but I didn't remember any other.
Yep.
Certainly very admirable
Yep.
to be involved in athletics and get your academics in perfect order too. Trush on the drive has it knocked away by Howes. 2:06 remaining. Into Kurzman, he puts it over to Tom Trush, and he scores the basket. Tom Trush with his 4th point. Guy on the shot. Trush with the rebound to Seth Gilmer. We are at triple digits now, 100-78 with 1:40 remaining. Barzak on the drive has it stripped away. Guy, nifty pass, doesn't convert, and Howes finds a rebound, but then throws it out to Tom Trush. To Barzak from 3-point range, no, and Dan Kurzman brings in the rebound and scores a basket. Dan Kurzman with the basket. Guy with the shot. Cougars up 102-80 with 1 minute remaining. Gee whiz. He had plenty of help going out of bounds. Guy looks at a 3 and then starts to drive. And then completes the drive. Seth Gilmer dishes it over to Tom Trush, who gets the ball, and we've got a foul. Tom goes to the line. We'll see if he can continue that streak, which stands at 12 for 12 from the line for the league part of the season. And he does that. He's got 5 points on the night. Chance for number 6 coming up. Tom Trush with a good stroke from the free throw line. Cedarquist with about an 18 footer. And Kurzman on the baseline. Tom Trush with a tip, and Seth Gilmer picks up the loose ball. We've got about 2 seconds left. He goes up with a shot, and no call.
Not a foul there, Dave, except that they're not going to extend the game.
All right, well, the Cougars come out on top with a 20-point victory over Muskegon, 104-84. A good win for the Cougars, who were not at full strength tonight, with Mike McKinley out, Janocus Sanders battling some flu and a root canal, and Shawn Kneeland battling pneumonia.
Yeah.
But all in all, a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, Dave, when you are undermanned like this, you just want to survive, and we did. It's a good game.
And we'll be back and talk with the coach. Our final score again tonight, KVCC 104, Muskegon 83. For Muskegon, Canning with 18, Bowen with 17, and Guy with 16. For the Cougars, Leroy King with 30, Randy Prince with 29, Chris Higgins with 12, and all three of those players had lots of rebounds. Randy and Leroy both had 13, and Chris Higgins with 9 rebounds. We out-rebounded as a team 55-37, and we outshot Muskegon 48% versus 41%. And Coach, I know your team was under a little bit of duress tonight with injuries and illnesses and so forth, and all in all worked out pretty well.
Yep, I was pleased with the way it turned out. I'd sure like to have Shawn Kneeland back though, and Mike McKinley in there, because you can tell the difference in quickness on the floor. We didn't press them here, and we did press them up there. We were ahead at the halftime up there, I think 58-28, and we really played well. But I thought, despite our start, our first 5-6 minutes, I thought it looked like it was going to be a one-point game.
Yeah.
You know, but I felt that we played better as the guys felt more comfortable, and that oftentimes happens when you play people that haven't played a lot of minutes.
I thought in the first half a key turning point was the insertion of Janocus Sanders when I think we were behind 21-20, and when Janocus came in, our defense all of a sudden woke up.
Our defense got better, and our transition consequently got better because he gets it up and down the floor.
We had a good run and then opened up the game a little bit.
He played real well for missing practice and being sick and all the stuff that's going on with him with his eyes and his root canal and all that. He did pretty well in the few minutes he played.
Something I noticed about his game tonight was the way he dribbles the ball left-handed as well as right-handed, and that's uncommon to have him dribble that strongly from the other side, and that's truly an asset for a player.
Yeah, he does. He's very quick and shifty with his move to the baseline too. He's got a good baseline move, one of the best of any players we've ever had out here.
And of course, Leroy King got the offense started there in the first half, and then Randy Prince kicked in later on to finish 30 and 29. That's a lot of offense from two people. I might say the coach is suffering.
Oh yes, I'm struggling these last couple of days. I hope I'm going to be better tomorrow. But
that last time out, we thought you were out of breath.
Yeah, and I'm not doing. Every time I cough, I feel like my whole chest is coming out of my body, though. But yeah, Leroy has stepped up big. I thought, and Randy played. That's the first time this year we've had a player play all 20 minutes of a half, and I think he paced himself well enough. He probably could have played the whole game, you know, and had a real steady game. And Leroy asked to come out in the first half. We're trying to get him to play harder, and he played hard up and down. He runs harder on offense than he does on defense, you know, but he made a couple blocks, and he had a stretch there where it was a Leroy King highlight show. You know, just did a great job.
Now you got Glen Oaks coming up on Friday night. Now they're a team I think leading the league in field goal shooting percentage and number 2 in free throw percentage, and they're a very offensive-minded team.
Yes, they've got a lot of good talent, a lot of quickness, and Donnie Hackworth is the leading scorer in the league, and nobody's even close to him. He's over 31 a game.
Player of the week last week.
He was the player of the week. They play Lansing tonight. You know, it's possible that they could get Lansing down at Glen Oaks, but I don't think we can count on that. But it'd be nice. But that would pump them up to come in here too.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it'll be a tough game. They got a lot of talent, and our game down there with them, they hit 6 threes in the first half, and I thought we played pretty well. And fortunately, our offense was in gear down there, so we were ahead at halftime by 4 or 6 points, something like that. And then the second half, we finally wore them down a little bit. But we had a healthy team at that time too, so it should be a good ball game. They're fighting for a home court advantage in the tournament. They got a shot yet at getting third place or fourth place in the league. And it'll be a good ball game. I hope a lot of our fans will come out and watch
You
it.
expect Mike McKinley back for Friday?
I hope so. Dave, we could have played Mike tonight probably, and he was kind of anxious to try it, but he has not practiced Monday or Tuesday. And that Achilles is that's the largest tendon in the body, and if we mess with that and hurt it, he could be out for 6 weeks and the season will be over. So if it had been a state championship game or a regional final, we probably would have chanced it. He feels it's about 80%, and I didn't like that. 4 out of 5 is not good enough for that kind of gamble unless we really had to have him. So it tightened up on him in the first half, and our trainer Doug West said if we're going to use him, we'd take several minutes to get him ready again, but he had it good and loose before the game. But we'll run him a little bit tomorrow, practice a little bit, and hopefully he'll be able to go Friday without any fear of re-injuring it.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to the game on Friday against Glen Oaks. And tonight the Cougars beat Muskegon 104-83. They're 10-1 in the league, which is at least a tie for first place, and 22-1 on the season, and number 3 in the country. It's not too shabby.
No, we're happy with that. We stayed 3, and Lansing moved from 9 to 8 this week. And the team out of Massachusetts, Ida College, is still undefeated. Toledo Owens is also 22-1, so they stayed in second.
Real good. We'd like to thank you for watching tonight's game, and please join us again for more KVCC Action Basketball.